There's this idea that I've been talking about for a couple of years now, that I actually got a ban, a 1-week ban for a video I did on it. Not because of the subject, but because of how I titled the video. They misconstrued it as causing violence, or I forget exactly how they put it, because I titled the video where we go on, we go all, which was like a Trump thing, a Q thing that they were using at the time. But I was using it to mean to talk about this concept that had blown across my transom at some point with other bits of Eastern philosophy, where we don't all move on to where we're going unless we go together. So in essence, nobody dies. And I've tried to explain it a few times over the past couple of years, and I don't know, I never explain it that well. But I saw Understanding Conspiracy take a crack at a similar, or the kind of, the same idea. But he just articulates this shit way better than me. And I was like, wow, that's cool to see someone else kind of posit this or put this concept out. And then, like, later the same day, I see this other guy do it too. So I'm like, what the fuck is that about, It's cool, but it's really like there is this kind of universal consciousness thing that we all pull from, and sometimes you just get on the same wavelength as other people are on. And once I hit the run into the story, I'm going to explain what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, all the things I talk about here and have discussed over the years, there's always someone on YouTube that can do it better or more articulate. But some of those dudes are like real serious, man. Actually, just get the guy right on my ass. I just want to look at this. There's no one here, right? No one. Homeboy was so close to me. I'm not gonna spiral. I've only been in the house for 5 minutes and I already have this going on. It's like, what? I don't understand. I feel like everybody is a dog and I have like meat in my back pocket or something. Like, he was so fucking close. I didn't realize he was even behind me. When I started this up, like, I started talking and I felt this presence on my right shoulder, and it's fucking Hirohito over here going fucking 500 miles an hour on my back. It's like, motherfucker, you could go this way, you could go that way, you could go around me. Why? Why are you right on my back? And you're all silent and sneaky, so I don't know you're there. God damn it. Sorry, God. See, what I was going to say before I was so rudely completely thrown by fucking robots I have to fucking navigate with out here, is a lot of these dudes are just not boring, they're just real serious. I think my severe mental illness makes me a bit more fun to have explain these concepts, even though they're not as good. So that's what that's how I tell myself anyway. So the idea here is that no one actually dies, because the final judgment, the final day of judgment, when we pass on and out of here, we all have to go at once, because we're all, one thing, as I talked about many times. We're all different points of attention, acting like people. It's like you have a box on a table, and when you sit in a chair and you're looking at the box, you can see one side of it because you only have that one point of observation. But if you had 10 points of observation where you could see all sides of the box to get a better look at it, you know, that'd be great. And then imagine you have millions of points of attention. And these points of attention are so strong because the consciousness is so strong that the points act like individuals, or they self-actualize, so that one of the views, one of your points of vision starts calling himself Bob and wearing suits and is a fucking plumber and lives in Florida. You know, these points of attention start expressing themselves as individuals, but it's really just one consciousness split up, observing itself. So at one point, when we're moving on from here, when we die, all these points of attention go together at the same time. But in our world, you know, people die, or like your mom dies, or my mom died. My mom is dead. That's sad. Why did I bring that up? But these points of attention move on, they die. But when someone dies, they don't go anywhere because they're part of us. They don't, because we're all one thing, right? So they don't go to like a waiting area. There's no purgatory. None of that shit. And now this doesn't preclude things like NDAs, because NDAs, is that what it is? Yeah, near-death experience. I was getting it confused with a non-disrespect agreement. They don't go anywhere, because what happens is time is only here. Time only exists here. So at the point of what would be the person's death, or the cessation of that point of vision or point of view, or self-actualized part of us, before they go on to what would be heaven or the afterlife or whatever, they're in an area where there is no time. So it doesn't matter how long it's almost like it's frozen. To us, it would be on their way, on their journey to wherever they're going. This is fucking terrible. God, I did it again. See, this is why. I got the idea, but I just can't, you know, really fucking shit terrible at explaining it. But there's no time. We're going back to the no time thing. Should I just fucking abandon shit and like try to do this again and except use like normal adult words? No, I think I'm gonna save it. I think I'm gonna rally back. We're gonna rally around the flag, boys, and we're gonna figure this out. There's no time outside this area. So basically these people, which are just you, don't go anywhere. They're just kind of frozen on our side in time. There is no judgment to their final form or soul or whatever, because they're part of us. We all have to go at once. Where we go one, we go all. And that's a title I used that got me in trouble. But that's so silly, by the way. But anyway, that's why no one really dies, because we all have to die together, because we all are one thing. Now that fucking whatever that was, 10 minutes, understanding conspiracy got it across in like, I don't know, 30 seconds. But he didn't do it as fun as I did, though. We had a good time doing that just now, you and I. We had some laughs. At my expense. But yeah, he brought that up, and I was like, wow. I've been trying to get that across. That idea. And it ties into the time situation here, which is just another concept people can't, I don't think they know what I'm talking about when I say that, about time only existing here. It doesn't exist as a concept. Like when people say, it used to freak me out when I was a kid. I'd hear like, you know, when you die, you go to heaven like forever, for eternity. And I used to think, well, what the fuck? What does that mean? What does forever feel like? But that must be. It sounds like a nightmare, you know. It sounds horrible. But if there's no time, right? You don't have the concept of time where you are. You don't feel the drag of it. It's just not something you think about because it's not something that exists. It exists here because we have to grow. You know, we have to evolve. Things don't grow and evolve without time. So once we're out of this area, there is no time. Now, how I think the bad guys operate, I'm pretty sure they do, is by moving interdimensionally. I suspect with spun mercury, purple huan, aerosoling the spun mercury, and you know, they gotta spin it real quick. That's why a lot of those, the craft they have are saucer-like, the circular. It's a whole nother thing though. But they move outside time. They move outside this dimension, which by virtue of the fact they move outside this dimension, they're moving outside time. Now, I guess apparently, I mean, once you're outside time, when you come back in, you're coming back into time. And you can kind of, I guess, jump in whenever you want. And that's why it seems like they make these centuries-long plans. Like these long-term plans, like this biblical stuff that going on in the spiritual world. They plan these things decades ahead, like just how they're ruining the cities now. They planted these seeds a long time ago. But most mortal men do not go with long-term plans. You know, they want to see things happen in their lifetime. They want some gain, right, from what they're doing in their lifetime. These aren't the type of guys to plant a tree with their grandson. They don't give a shit. They want, you know, they want something out of it if they're doing it, you know, now within their lifespan. So the way they have these big long generational plans and the way they can plant these seeds seemingly a long time ago to then have effect now is through moving out of time. I was just thinking of Jefferson scene, moving out of time to a deluxe apartment in the sky. But yeah, so it all ties together with the death thing here. No one really dies. There is no death. You know, I mean, that's a fucking scam anyway. It's just that whole thing is to make you scared. You know, they're so hung up on using death to control you too. Everything is just, they try to subtly remind you, memento mori. You get up in the morning to go to, everybody hates Mondays, right? It's like this weird fucking pall, this kind of strange spell over you, because you wake up in the morning to earn, you know, this is all death words. So that's why when you're shuffling around, you're like, oh God, it gets depressing because it's all the words that are associated with the morning, and there's like a whole bunch of them. I don't really have them on hand, but if you think about it and just go through it, and this is how a lot of stuff works, you know. And this language, this way of speaking was given to us. The words we use are predisposed to create moods and to cast spells, you know. The ones they want you to cast by saying things that you don't know you're saying because of the words you're using. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. So basically you're screwed no matter what. You're taking part in magic all day without knowing it. It's either working through you, or you're working through it, or it's working around you. But no despair. This goes back to being mentally ill and making things fun. Yeah, if I wasn't crazy, oh man, I'd be in big trouble. Talking to my Bulgarian vampire friend in his in one of his live streams the other day. I popped in to say hi. It's he's not an actual vampire, I don't think, but he was lamenting the people in Bulgaria and how most people suck. They're just rude and nasty, and we got into talking about the 95%, which is the percentage of people out in the world. And I talk about this all the time. It's a very old concept. I call them the robots, because what it is only 5% is what's been determined. Latest schizo statistics. Other cultures throughout the years have had the same concept. Some have a three-tiered kind of people concept, but it's kind of always the same. Of course, being here in the West in current year, we have to get it down a percentage. And when I first started looking into this a few years ago, the accepted numbers, I think, were 8% real people. Well, when I say real, I mean people that are actually points of your attention, points of a different one of the consciousness points, like we were just talking about, who are divine beings or have divinity, and the remainder of the people are basically just kind of empty bodies that have a script that they can run. I mean, you can talk to them, you can talk to anyone, but there's going to reach a point where they run out of script, and if you go off script, they're going to, like I always say, first they laugh at you, then they get nasty, then they just marginalize you. They dismiss you as like, oh, that person's just crazy, and you're out of the conversation. So most people that you're surrounded by and have to deal with are that 95%, and some of them are used, well, I guess all of them could be used for your lessons, meaning how you learn here. This is primarily still, to some extent, a school, a learning place. As the progeny of the divine, we are a baby, kind of an incubator, or an egg. That's what this place is, and we have to learn things. I guess those tests and lessons have a lot of interpersonal shit, like how to deal with people. And in order to have that, we have to have other bodies, other people that look like us, but that are not our own points of attention. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to facilitate the tests of which, this testing zone is set up for. In recent times, I would argue this test zone has been turned into a fucking farm. That's kind of evident, but, yeah, he's going on about how people just suck. How most people like that are just mean for no reason, combative for no reason. They walk behind you real close and real quiet, like they're gonna stab you like a ninja or something, like that guy earlier. But that guy earlier wasn't trying to be a dick. I get mad at these people, but it's not their fault. They're not trying to suck, right? Just they suck, But like I always say, and I have to say again, because I know there are people that are paid to listen in. I absolutely think you should treat them like you would want to be treated. I don't look at them like they're lesser. They're just a part of the system, like I'm here as a part of the system. They have their role, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they seemingly exist only to fucking aggravate the aware people like us. But he was saying too, like where he is, Bulgaria, I guess they're inundated with Indians, and he was saying the funny thing is the Indians are a lot cooler than the Bulgarians. I'd rather have an Indian guy drive the bus because he's not gonna try to fight me for no reason. That's my Bulgarian accent. But yeah, it's a thing that's happening in all white countries and all Caucasian countries. They fill them with people, all kinds of people, darker shade. As long as they're darker shade, you never see the reverse. They're not trying to put Europeans in Africa. Well, fucking, they wouldn't go, but you know what I'm saying? It's so that, because what they really want, it's not that they like diversity or they're for people or marginalized people. What they want is they want to mash everybody together. You know, so we all end up one shade of like off brown, you know. So it's all cattle management. You know, if you had a bunch of cows, right, you're trying to keep your farm together, figure out how much milk you can get from them, whatever you're trying to figure out so you can run a better farm, you want to know as much about your animals as you can, and you want to put them in, you know, in boxes or pens. Like, all right, these are all the female animals. These are all the ones that can they're too old. So that's what they do with us. They try to get us divided into groups that we self-identify to, which helps them. Anyway, it's not so much about, although there is an aspect of that where they want people to come together, so they keep dividing them so that they can never come together. But it's mainly just for cattle management. They can run a more efficient farm if they got all their fucking cows in order and all in the right place. And stop over here for a minute. But yeah, so we're all dealing with it because, you know, as much as I complain about it, he's dealing with it too, you know, on the other side of the world. It's what are you gonna do? You just have to stay crazy. You know, like being nutty, God, has made life so much easier for me. You know, talking about some of these serious guys that talk about the stuff that I talk about here. You're smart guys and stuff, but man, you have to kind of get a level of kookiness here, or else you're in for a fucking tough time. You're in for a dark crisis of the soul. A dark night of the soul, 5 nights out of 7 in a week. So being a little crazy helps. That's one thing I think I do have that kind of sets me apart from all the other kind of guys in this space, or whatever you want to call it. I might not get my ideas across very well with good articulation or clarity or any kind of point at all, but we have fun. We do have some fun. All of us guys on this side, and I hope you're having some fun on that side too, because things are so crazy. You have to get crazy. As this place gets crazier, you have to get crazier too. I didn't go into Ross. See, the thing about not going into Ross is I know that like the one time I don't go in, they'll have shit there that I want. But how much plastic shit does one need? I just bought a bunch of Hot Wheels. It's gonna have to tide me over. Yeah, the room's getting out of control. The thing with my room though, and I've been doing this, well, here in Hawaii, since I've been here, of course, it's hard to restart collecting from nothing, because when when I left the mainland, I didn't bring anything with me. I gave all my stuff away before I left. And I used to own collectible shops, so I had a bunch of shit. I mean, of course, I got rid of a lot of it through the years, selling things, and I used to do toy shows and collectible shows and shit like that. But what happens here now is it's like a binge and purge thing. I was just telling the lady at Long's when she's asking me about the Hot Wheels. I'll buy like a ton of stuff over a period of time, and then I'll get frustrated because I'll start running out of room. So I'll look around, box some stuff up, and I'll put it in the foyer where people come in into my building, and I'll leave it for kids to take it, or older weird guys like myself who collect that shit. It's the one kind of part of my addictive personality profile that is actually pretty harmless. I mean, it's money, but fuck money. Money is a means of exchange. It's not a resource to be conserved. You got it, get rid of it, get stuff you need. Because with the way things are going, one day you wake up and it's all worthless. We decided to switch to digital, and you have 30 days to bring any assets you have to the bank for 70% of the value on whatever currency you may have. That would even be generous. And they wouldn't even have to do that. Yeah, they're going to be making the big grabs in the near future. They're going to try to change some things, push some changes through. That whole thing 4 years ago was definitely a compliance test, and we did not pass with flying fucking carpets. We failed that test. We pretty much showed them our ass, like, oh, these people will do anything we tell them to, basically. I mean, there's always the 5% of us that will purposely do the opposite if we sense they want us to do something. But for the most part, these 95%, the area assets, the system assets, will just do whatever. I think they knew that, but they have to check, before they do this stuff. I was saying at the beginning of this year too, I'm like, this year's going to be crazy. And it is. It's just that things happen so quick. Oh, this thing too. This thing here. I don't like talking about this kind of stuff because it's like, I'm trying not to get banned again. All right, I can't walk up on a traffic here. There's a red light. Oh, here we go. Now we got a white light. I'm not saying, everybody else can do what they want, but I'm not crossing at the wrong time because I obey the law. Yeah, this thing here, I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Like, I said this on the second day. I said this right away. It's all fake. It's just like how they, it's like the Alex Jones thing. They fake sued their fake conspiracy guy for fake money by fake families. They had to, for real, wipe out a lot of people in this area because they have to, it was one of the conditions to get their third temple moving, have to genocide all these people. So they fake attack themselves with their fake terrorist organization, and so that they can retaliate for real against people who didn't do anything. And I said that from day two. I'm sure some people thought I was an asshole or whatever, but like almost everything I say way before anybody else does, it's shaping up to be true. Well, I knew it was true, but now people are starting to admit that, yeah, this is probably all all there is. I don't like being right about this shit. You know, I'm happy when I'm wrong. You know, when I thought we were gonna have the blooming Hydra people on the eclipse, I mean, I thought there was a possibility, and I mean, I'm glad that didn't happen because I never got a flamethrower. So I'll have one for the fucking next eclipse. You can bet your bottom ditty. All right, I'm gonna just concentrate on getting home. I got a lot of people up in this area here, so I gotta be careful because you know, they're not aware of what they're doing. They don't know where they're going. I have to navigate for myself and them. So until next time, thanks for dropping in. It's always nice to hear from you guys. Until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.